everyone, I'm Helene, and in this video, I'm going to analyze the game Where on Google Earth is Carmen Sandiego? This game is an adaptation of the original 1985 DOS computer game by the American software company Broderbund in the category of edutainment. This mashup features the original gameplay, some of the original story-driven animation, and the addition of Google Earth. This game analysis will focus on the educational merit of the game and the game as a system. Additionally, I was able to connect with one of the original artists who worked on the computer game, Wendy Carmichael. She offers insights from the developer's perspective. Let's begin the chase. Where on Google Earth is Carmen Sandiego opens with the story. You are alerted, valuable jewels have been stolen, and you are given orders from an intelligence agency. Gameplay instructions pop up just in time and can be accessed on demand, introducing you to the new procedural rhetoric of the game. Use the magnifying glass to interview witnesses in each city and gather clues. When you think you know where the suspect has gone, use the airplane to fly to the next city. I appreciate the simplistic design and the way that the instructions are integrated into the story. It doesn't open with instructions. I love that it opens with the story. As you play through the game, you are given clues about the next destination. The clues are descriptions of national flags, currencies of the world, and famous landmarks. The destinations are capital cities, all the things we were once taught to roguely memorize in school. Now, inside the game, they exist within a situational learning context, integrating them into problem solving and deepening understanding. Interestingly, this new iteration of the game is a system within a system. The original game offers limited controls, maximizing their effects with good storytelling and just the right amount of pleasant frustration, contributing to the overall enjoyment of the game. Google Earth is a system of a completely different scale. It's an advanced model of something very complex, the Earth and everywhere on it. It's a really fun juxtaposition between the old 1985 interface and the most up-to-date interactive satellite model of Earth. There are a few interesting outcomes of the Google Earth addition to the game. Google Earth's controls allow players to zoom in on landmarks and simulate walking around, exploring in the ultimate sandbox, a low-risk environment that is optimal for problem solving and learning. Google Earth also offers more microcontrols, giving the players ownership of their experience. We all know what a fun game is, but do you know what a serious game is? A serious game is a game that has a primary objective other than entertainment, like behavioral change or learning outcomes. The authors of the article, Mapping Learning and Gaming Mechanics for Serious Games Analysis, make the preliminary assumption that the fundamental aim of an educational game is the translation of learning goals and practices into mechanical elements of gameplay, meeting instructional needs as well as play and fun. In my opinion, the framework that most clearly analyzes the educational merit of a game by examining it through the lens of well-researched learning strategies is the learning mechanics gaming mechanics model. This model maps learning strategies with gaming mechanics, creating an educational framework in which to analyze games. If a learning strategy works in a learning environment, it's reasonable to assume that the learning strategy will work in a gaming environment, and you might even be able to argue that it's more effective in a gaming environment because of the increased motivation. Though serious games have been around for a while, this category of gaming isn't well defined. In this model, gaming mechanics are mapped with learning mechanics, producing serious game mechanics. Let's look deeper at the two kinds of mechanics being mapped. Running vertically down the center of each mechanic type are root mechanics with functional mechanics leafing out. Now let's look at how these mechanics map to produce the serious game mechanics used in Where on Google Earth is Carmen Sandiego. One gaming mechanic that I can identify is the cutscene story mechanic, which maps to the instructional learning mechanic. We see this in the animation that's woven throughout the game, driving the story and orienting learners to the new system and their new goals. Tutorial maps directly with tutorial. When you first start working with the interface, you get a nice pop-up that guides you. It's self-paced, it's incremental, and it's there to teach you how to navigate the new system. Ownership maps to ownership. Players choose their actions in this game, and those choices change the story and the outcome. And with Google Earth, you can go anywhere. That's really fun. You have ownership over your journey. Feeling like you have an impact on the outcome of the game really motivates players. Selecting is seen in how you choose where to go for clues and how you choose which city to go to in chase of the villain. This maps to action task. It's part of the problem solving in the game, and it's part of advancing the game. Feedback maps to feedback. If you select correctly, you see the villain run away and you know you're getting close. It's interesting how sometimes the feedback kind of reminds you that it's a chase, and it gives you that sense of getting close to the target. Sometimes the feedback course corrects. For example, you choose the wrong city and the feedback you get isn't really very exciting. One of the characters will tell you, "I don't know anything about what you're talking about." And it's motivating because you want to be in the right city getting more clues. So feedback is used well here to correct and reinforce the information that's being taught. Movement is seen mostly through the Google Earth interface. You choose a city, then Google Earth flies you to that city where you can explore on the ground or just hover above and look at landmarks and geographical features. You have a lot of control over your movement in the game, so we can map movement to modeling. Another node that I can map is time pressure. This is an interesting one because it maps to motivation. In the game, you have to solve problems faster and faster to catch up to the villain. This time pressure does two things. It's pleasantly frustrating, which is kind of the sweet spot of having a goal that is challenging but attainable. So you're not discouraged, you're motivated. The pressure to solve problems faster and faster is also part of the problem sequencing, which is connected to the level design. So time pressure is a well-leveraged mechanic. Lastly, reward. And reward will map to incentive. You get a reward when you guess right. Catching the villain is your reward. When I spoke with one of the artists who worked on the computer game, Wendy Carmichael, I asked her what techniques were used to motivate players. She explained that the game leverages long game mechanics, meaning that there is delayed gratification built into the game. She emphasized the importance of the player getting it wrong, for example, flying to the wrong city. She said that this is necessary for the psychological rewards of getting the clues right. But the big payoff, she said, is in finally catching the villain. Where on Google Earth is Carmen Sandiego has been packaged for the classroom. The information provided about the classroom version says that the activities are designed to support students' learning around geography, history, culture, and diversity. They also meet a growing demand for content that focuses on social emotional concepts such as confidence building, goal setting, social awareness, teamwork, and responsible decision making. The Carmen in the Classroom program includes a variety of different activities and digital content. It's really great to see that an a la carte blended learning curriculum has developed out of one of my favorite childhood games.